morning, Quadcopter 101 here. And before we get started, let's get today's shout out of the way. Today's shout out goes to Samir's Review Room. Samir was first to say first in one of my recent videos, and thus wins a shout out, so congratulations. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and what I got for you today is a neat new review of the JJRC X7 GPS Smart Drone. So, what is this particular drone? Well, it is a GPS drone from JJRC. Let's go over it and see what we got here. We get a drone, nice size drone, with a 1080p camera. Now this 1080p camera can be remote controlled to swivel up or down to change your view, perspective, looking down at the ground or up at the horizon if you wish. It's a pretty good sized drone, brushless motors on it, of course. It is powered by a goodly sized battery too. Let me take this thing out and show you the battery. The battery you get with this particular drone is a 7.6 volt, 2600 milliampere hour battery. It's proprietary with proprietary connector, but it's an LIHV battery, which means it should give you a little more power than a standard LiPo battery should do. You get a proprietary charger to go along with that battery that is powered by a micro by a USB port that you'd plug into I would recommend at least a 2 amp wall charger, phone wall charger to power this. Now, this is a pretty good sized battery, and the issue with this particular battery is that it's going to take quite a bit of time to charge it through a USB port, so expect, a couple hours charge time for each flight. Yeah, at least it took me a couple hours to get this thing charged up for today's flight. Other things about this, you get a pair of spare propellers, which is good. What would be better is a full set of spare propellers, and you get tools to remove and put on those propellers through these lock nuts on top of the propellers. Let's go over the controller. The controller is very basic, simple to operate. This is your mode switch up here. You can switch between GPS and altitude hold by pressing that button there. If you want to fly in altitude hold, that turns the GPS off, but that also enables you to fly faster. But that again, that is for more skilled pilots if you want to go into altitude hold. It does have automatic return to home and landing, which you activate by pressing that button there, since this is a GPS bird. Automatic takeoff and automatic landing by pressing that button there. And this button here, you can start and stop the video by holding down this button, or quick press of this button will enable you to take a photo. And again, I mentioned that this 1080p camera on this drone can be swiveled up or down, and that's done through this scroll wheel on the left side here. You additionally get a set of directions that is in Chinese and English. And one thing about this is a 5G Wi-Fi flyer, 5G, so you are going to need 802.11 AC Wi-Fi phone. With that phone, you'll be able to connect to FPV of this drone and view its in-flight video using the Enjoy Fly app, available in Google Play and iTunes. And also that app also gets you the ability to do advanced flight modes such as Follow Me, Circle Me, and Waypoints. And is there anything that I missed on my cheat sheet? Yeah, I did. I mentioned the I mentioned 1080p camera, but it also records to a microSD card slot. And let me find that slot. Hold on. There it is right there. So make sure that is it. That's it there. It's really flush with the drone, but that's where you put your SD card to record the video, and that avoids getting any Wi-Fi lag or frame dropping that you normally see with a 1080p or with a Wi-Fi FPV flyer. So that's about it. Let's take this thing out for a flight and see how it performs. So hope you enjoy this flight. Good morning, Quadcopter 101, and we're out at one of my favorite test sites here to fly the JJRC X7. Hope you enjoy this flight. To start this thing up, all you need to do is push in the battery in the back, like so, and then press this button here for about 3 seconds, and put it on a flat level surface immediately. Once you hear that, and turn on the transmitter, and we get a bind up. We should get a bind up as soon as you got to hold down the button for 3 seconds, and there we do. We got a connection. Okay, this is the Enjoy Fly app. Let's hit Start Flying and see if we got FPV view. The drone is under remote controller control. That is correct, so we're going to hit Close. And what I want to do, folks, is go in the upper right corner there, hit those 3 dots there, and look for compass calibration. Select it, and then hit Calibrate. And now the calibration is started. So what we're going to do is rotate. Okay, we got blue and red blinking lights in the black. Okay, that tells you your compass calibration. So you got to rotate it horizontally until it changes. And now we got green and red blinking lights in the back. And that tells you got to do a vertical calibration until that changes. Still green and red. And I'm looking at my screen too. Oh, calibrate success. We're done. Okay, so we should be good to go. And hitting done. And coming out of the settings. Now, low power alarm is set to 20%. That's what I want. 8.5 volts, we're at 100%, and everything else is set up. I got beginner mode turned off, so we don't have any geofencing. And hitting exit, and we should be good to fly. I'm seeing a good picture on my screen here, so I'm going to start the recording. Recording should be started, and we do have recording. Now, to take off, let's try, first off, hitting the takeoff button and holding it down and see if that happens. And we're going to check to see if we got any toilet blowing. Let's go up a little bit higher, too. How steady is that calibration? Got a little bit of wind on my left here, that's why it's bumping or bad, but it's not toilet blowing. So we got good compass calibration. Gonna get in the picture. Sync up the camera, it looks good. I'd say, how do you like my shirt today, folks, except it's cold. I'm gonna take it off my sweatshirt here. So let's go out and try it out, this camera. Make sure I'm not seeing it. Let me lower the camera just a tad. Yeah, I'm not seeing any propellers, and that's because the way this is designed is that camera is way up front, so you're not seeing the propellers on this one. But let's see what type of distance we can get. See a nice sharp picture on my screen, by the way, from this. And let's go outbound. Past my wife and dog. Saying hi to them. Then turn into the right. Heading outbound. And going up higher too, so I can keep an eye on this thing. Going above the mountains in the back. If I go below the mountains, I can't see it. You know, off in the distance there. I want to maintain sight on this. Okay, we are out right now at the distance of 157 meters. And a little bit of intermittent chop there on the video, but pushing forward again. It's actually performing nicely. 190 meters about. Going up higher. 220 meters. Going up higher to about a height of about 25 meters. That's good enough. Still heading outbound. Still heading outbound. 270 meters. 280. Will it make it to 300? That's the question. Yes, we made it to 300. Still heading outbound. Let's plop it there for a second. And turn to the right a bit. Getting a little bit of low signal there. I'm getting a little bit of warning. Meaning we're reaching the end. Okay, that's the end of its control range. The controller can't go any further. The FPV was still good, but the controller's range was below the controller range, unfortunately. So the controller's range is a little past 300 meters. That's okay. That's pretty good, especially for a, this is a lower end GPS drone. You're not going to expect to go out 1,000, a kilometer, but over 300 meters is still good for this particular drone, and it's coming back nicely, doing a nice return to home. One lost signal. See it up there, coming back. What altitude we still at? We still at 30? Yeah, still at 30 meters. Coming overhead. It's coming overhead in my position. Getting ready to do its landing. Okay, we got good signal again. Kept losing signal there, which is unusual. Got a lot of battery power left on this from that huge battery on this thing. But let's see how good its return to home and landing is. Coming down, and we're off about meter and a half. Not too bad. Let's stop that. Okay, it automatically stops. I'm going to turn off the video there, make sure we got that video recording. We'll put it back on its takeoff pad, landing pad here. And hit the takeoff button again, holding it down. Going to the air, checking again, going up a bit higher. Starting the video recording. Okay, my finger's not hitting that button right. Starting the video recording. Oh, let's try it on the controller. Holding the button down on the controller. And it's not recording. So let's land it. Oh, yeah, Joyfly is not responding. Yes. Okay, close it. We're going to start the app over again. After we land it, we will restart the app, and hopefully that'll correct the problem there. Don't know why the app didn't want to record. I pressed it twice. So hold on. Okay, let's start up the motors, or actually let's do that takeoff again. Let's do a manual takeoff this time. Motors down and out, and giving it throttle. Manual takeoff, and starting the video camera, holding the video camera button down. And video camera is recording. Getting back into the picture again. Syncing it up, the camera. And we should be good to go here. Okay, what we want to try next, of course, is how about it's follow me. So hit track. And it's tracking. And you have to set what altitude it's tracking at. This looks like the Seafly app, actually. I want to go at altitude of 4. So that brings it down a little bit there. So let's see how well it tracks. Tracks like the Seafly. Okay, old man running. Down the road. Let's go around the field here. Will it keep up with me? Yeah. Heading toward it. Heading around it. Okay, what it's doing, folks, it's similar to Hobson type of follow me. I'm trying to get it behind me, but it won't. It just stays at a position where it was when it took, or when I activated follow me. So that's okay. I like that kind of follow me, to tell you the truth. But it's doing a good job. Let's take a walk over here into the field. There were a lot of people here this week because of we had recent rains, and they really mudded up the area. But let's see here. Let's come out of follow me now. We'll try orbit now. Orbit position. I activated orbit, and that's where it was at when I activated orbit. And what's it going to do? It's circling, so I think I need to increase the radius of the circle by probably pulling back on the stick. Will that do it? Yep, that increases the radius of the circle by pulling back on the stick. So you put it over position you want to orbit, press the button, and you can increase the radius of that orbit by pulling back on the stick. What about speed of the orbit? What if I banked it more to the left? Can I adjust the speed? No, just the distance. Let's go up a bit higher and go outbound a bit more. Make that circle even bigger and more impressive. Okay, I come back overhead again, start orbit again. Because it seemed, oh no, there it goes. It's going fine. So pulling back on the stick, is there a maximum you can go for orbit? Probably 10 meters. That's it, I'm pulling back. It ain't going any farther than that. So it looks like about 10 meters is the maximum. You probably can set that in the settings, adjust that in the settings. Let me take a look in the settings and see if that's true. Selecting settings. I'm not seeing it. So I guess it's hardwired at 10 meters maximum. Circle me of this. It's doing a good job of circling. Circle position with this drone from JJRC. So not too bad. Not too bad at all for a GPS drone. A little brushless motor, entry-level GPS drone. Now, I still wouldn't recommend this for total beginners. You know, I don't recommend anything with Brushless motors are just too big and powerful, folks, for beginners, in my opinion. But for intermediate flyers looking for their first GPS drone, yeah, this would be a nice one. Working rather nicely. So let's come out of orbit. Stopping orbit. And we're back to position. Now, let's try lowering the gimbal a bit so I don't see propellers. I'm probably seeing sub-propellers there. And let's go off in this direction now, because there's a area over there I want to explore, but I don't feel like walking over there. Looks like an open area where some people might have been camping. Heading toward it, looking at my FPV signal. There's that area there. Looks like there is a fire ring there. It looks like people were camping there, so that's another campsite over there. Let's come down a little lower and see if that really is a fire pit. Going forward again. Yep, that looks like a fire pit to me. So people are camping over there. I don't think they're really supposed to be. I think they're supposed to stay in the lake. So 150 meters out there in that fire pit. Okay, well, that's interesting. Turning to the left now. I got lots and lots of battery power, and I don't know what to do with it. Folks, maybe we'll go up higher and get a nice high view of the area. So increasing altitude, and let's see here. I lost FPV there. I'm only 150 meters out, so let's do that return to home. Oh no, there we go. I don't like to do a manual return to home, or automatic return to home. I like to fly manually back. And there we are. So let's come back. Coming back. And at the same time, I'm going to increase altitude. Let's take it up to about 50 meters. 50 meters is sufficient for what I want to do. Coming back overhead. Turn to the left a bit. And let's lower that gimbal down and take a look at us down below here. So lowering it, this gimbal moves nice and smooth. That's a good job. And I'm going to go walk back over to the camera here. I'm off screen, I believe. Well, we haven't done waypoints yet, so let's come back down. We got 40% left. Coming down. Reducing throttle to come down. I hope we got time to do a waypoint or two. We do. That's a big battery on this thing, so we should have enough time to do a battery or a waypoint, a few waypoints. So bringing it over and bringing it back to me and raising that gimbal. There I am. Now let's go up a bit higher so I don't hit myself, and hit the screen down here, the map. Actually, do I go track, position, orbit, altitude? No, we got to go down in the lower left corner there. Okay, that's not coming up, the map. Position, altitude, position, track, orbit. So I don't think this does have waypoints, unfortunately, folks. Track, orbit, position, altitude, hold. No waypoints. I tried to open it here, and that map is not opening, so I guess there are no waypoint capability on this, unfortunately. But there is something else I can try here. Now let's try that mode switch and fly this manually. Hitting M. Okay, now we are in altitude hold, and it's drifting with the wind. Let's see how this thing flies. Does it have high speed? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a fast plane. A fast drone. In altitude hold mode. Okay, battery's getting low too. So yeah, this can fly very quickly in altitude hold mode. So bringing it around. Let's go back in the GPS mode, holding the button down. And does it hold its position? Yes, it does. So everything seems to work on this. We're at 20% battery. I'm not going to take it down to 10%. We're going to call it quits about here. So let's bring it over. Give me my final thoughts on this. get it in the picture. So overall, there it is. Let's get it up. This isn't a bad GPS drone, especially for first-time GPS flyers. I think it's reasonably priced. You know, don't expect to get, you know, higher-end model features with this. It's not meant for that. It's meant for new flyers or new GPS flyers. People that have had a little bit of experience but looking for their first GPS drone. This would be a good one for you folks. So I'm at 10% battery power. I'm just going to go right over there and we're going to land it right away. Doesn't seem to do a return to home and landing on low battery. So keep that in mind. You want to keep a good eye on your battery power, or else it would have landed by now. We're going to land it right there. This would have landed by now if it did do return to home and landing on low battery, because I was down at 10% battery power and it was still flying. So let's stop that video recording. Pressing the button there. And we got it. So the JJRC. What was this again? X7? I believe this is X7. Let me double check it. I got it on my cheat sheet here. Yep. X7 GPS drone. Pretty cool. Does return to home on command or on lost signal, but unfortunately doesn't do return to home on low battery. I thought it did, but it didn't do it for me. That's the only thing about it. Just keep an eye on your battery power, folks. Very important. So hope you enjoyed this flight. This is Quadcopter 101. Let me get in the picture here. Get this in my face. Quadcopter 101. Signing out. Hi, Quadcopter 101 here again. Hey, if you want to get your own shout out in one of my future videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's real simple. Just go to my channel page and click on that subscribe. And also make sure to click that bell button right next to the subscribe button. That way you get notified when I release a brand new video immediately and give you a chance to get that first shout out. So give it a try, folks.